Greetings everyone, this is First and 2073 with the next episode of Geopolitical Simulator 4, Power and Revolution, playing as Greece, doing the return to the Golden Age of Greece. A lot of things happened last episode. We had a little bit of intervention going on down here in Libya. We deployed infantry, several different forces here. We still have a fleet off the coast. Tanks have moved into the Tobruk district. We also have special forces and helicopters that moved further south, capturing oil fields. Down around here, we have intervened against the Libyan Democratic Forces on the side of Libya. Their numbers were close to around 5,000 when I joined the fight. I want to say these tank and armored pickup truck numbers were also a little higher. I know that, I did write this down somewhere, I don't know why I wrote it down. Mercenary numbers are about the same there. We did a little bit of damage with an airstrike down here to a rebel base. Another rebel base has been uncovered further to the south. Contemplating a strike there. One of the big disappointments at the end of the episode is when I did intervene, it said that I would be able to annex territory, but here it looks like the city has actually returned to... Wait a minute. No, that's Greek forces. The city, I thought, was under the control of Libyans. Yeah, those are Greek helicopters, and the Libyans are controlling. So the Libyans have retaken the territories, the things that we have recaptured, which was disappointing because I was hoping that I could intervene and just try to do like a land grab in Libya, extending the Greek Empire. This was based off a game that I had played with the United States and Morocco, and I had captured a number of cities in Morocco. Morocco, I think, had declared war on Spain in this scenario, and I played part of this series on my channel, but it was after the actual Spanish-Moroccan War, and then like there was like sort of a continuation. And in that series, I did have control over a number of the cities here, as well as I thought there were some oil fields or maybe it was a wind farm or something like that. I controlled a few things out there. Yeah, I think it was like that wind farm that I had control over because of the intervention that I did. Now, this was a war between two different nations, so maybe that's a different story, and I'm intervening in a civil war, so maybe that's why I can't, I'm not grabbing this territory. Like, Tobruk is no longer, it's not our flag, it's the Libyan flag. So maybe that's the reason why it's happening. Also, I don't think that was actually settled in Morocco until after the conflict was over. So maybe when the conflict's over, we'll regain the territory. I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm not betting on that happening here. But some other things sort of came to mind as the week went on, and I started contemplating different strategies this week with geopolitical, with the geopolitics here. And I thought one thing I could do is basically use Libya sort of as it's almost like a client state in Africa, and maybe try to get them, maybe use an alliance with Libya as a means to intervene in other conflicts. Libya, for example, does have, if we look here, I thought, let's see here, relationship with Libya. I looked this up before. How did I do it? Libya. Libya has some hostilities, was the point that I was trying to make here. If I can pull this off and show you Libyan relations. There we go. Status. Oh, I thought they had hostilities. Maybe they don't. I thought they had hostilities with Greece. Conflict. There it is. Yep. Did I say Greece? Algeria. So Libya has a hostile relationship with Algeria, so that could spill out into war. And maybe we can do sort of a land grab out there in Algeria. Take over the northern coast of Algeria or something like that. So that's a possibility. Maybe that could also lead to conflicts with other countries like Egypt or Sudan. Egypt would be good, especially if there's a Suez Canal here, which I believe there is. I wonder if you can close that off if you control it. I think you can. It looks like it's possible that you can. I don't know. But the other interesting thing here, if you look at diplomacy and you go to Greece, is that we have hostilities with Turkey and the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. So those are possible areas of conflict as well. So that's all stuff to consider. But I was going to consider pulling out of this conflict, but because of this potential to bring in Libya as a client state, I think I might go ahead and continue to intervene and sort of clear out the rest of the Libyan democratic forces here in the north, which of course is contrary to, you know, the belief of Greece as like the origin of democracy. But you know, if you study history, like not all Greeks were in favor of democracy. Aristotle, Socrates, even if you read Plato's Republic, you know, he talked about a philosopher king, and Aristotle was in favor of an aristocracy, where I think that's where the name he's where the name came from, like an oligarchy of intellectuals. So, you know, democracy isn't necessarily the most favored thing. But I could see an also potential alliance here with Tunisia, which is a democracy. It's one of the only democracies in the Middle East. So we can probably... So I might go ahead and set up a meeting with them and try to arrange for some trade agreements and possibly send some foreign aid to Tunisia. I'm also going to go ahead and take a suggestion of one of the subscribers and meet with Libya, try to gain access, and maybe even build some bases in Libya too. Who suggested that? I am Kalmari. Which, by the way, I love that name. I don't know. I'm not trying to be insulting or anything, but that name's hilarious. It's one of the better names I've seen on YouTube. I know you've been watching the channel for a while there, buddy, and I appreciate all the support. So, yeah, I think a meeting with the Libyan government might be a good idea to try to arrange for some sort of treaty. So we're going to continue to press the attack against Libya. We are occupying this city here, Al-Badad, and I believe I also have a force that I left up here in the north somewhere. Let's go back. There it is. Right. We're going to engage this group of 11,000. Let's go ahead and send them to this city here. And I could probably take our group of 14,000. And we'll leave about 5,000 behind, 4,000 behind, I think. And we'll send 10,000. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and send 10,000 to that city. And we'll actually advance them a little further ahead and take this city. We're trying to take all these cities simultaneously, if we can. Which means I probably should move some of the tanks into the region. Let's go ahead and move 160 tanks, 64 tanks here to cover the advance south of the cities, and we'll sort of clear the Libyan democratic forces out of this northern coast here, probably move in there. Again, we still could possibly, when this conflict resolves itself, we might end up as, you know, the controllers of this territory. That's a possibility. I don't think it's really going to happen, but, you know, I don't really know what's going to happen. So, we'll find out. Also, another thing I noticed down here was that's a Libyan cruiser. The Libyans control this port, and maybe we can grab the port. That would be cool. We might have to send a force down here to capture that city before the Libyan's government can actually move on it. But that looks like infantry of about 1,700 infantry, which is almost half the infantry. I'm gonna go ahead and launch a cruise missile strike against them. Let's have our navy take out theirs. That could happen pretty quickly. That could be pretty devastating. And since we are engaging, continuing to engage in the conflict, we're gonna go ahead and authorize the airstrike here. To that rebel base, we'll give it a green light, and let's go ahead and send these 55 fighters down and take out that rebel base there, which basically will be annihilating these Libyan Democratic Forces. They still control this province to the south, and I guess Libyan troops can go ahead and grab that themselves. And the rest of the forces to the east seem to be total jihad forces, who we are not in conflict with yet. Still waiting, biding my time. Alright, so those are my military moves. I think I do want to deploy some troops further south to the island of Crete, because that island was abandoned. Let's go ahead and get some reserve forces to the island to prepare for possibly reinforcing the conflict in Libya if necessary. Another thing we have to handle is the fact that we now have new refugees. 76,000 refugees, it looks like. Refugee crisis is expanding, but we are dealing with the refugee. We have probably one of the best refugee policies in Europe, dealing with a lot of these refugees here, and we're getting a lot of credit for it. So I'm going to go ahead and build another camp. I think I might just build it right here on this island right here. So let's see here. I think that fits. I looked before. Army. How many missiles do I have? 3,000 missiles. I was thinking about buying some more missiles too. What would it cost me to buy some missiles? 4,000. It's going to cost me 356 million. I'm going to wait on that one actually. No missiles yet. Canceled that. Let's do construction instead. Instead of missiles, we're going to build camps. And this is going to cost me 41 million. 9 million over 5 years. That's not a bad deal. And let's just drop this camp right here on this island. Wait a minute. There it is. Yes. Okay. Is that under construction? Yes, it is. Refugee camp will be constructed in 2 weeks. And hopefully that'll help deal with this refugee problem. That's probably going to expand as we move into these cities here until things stabilize. Alright, so that'll help solve that problem slightly. Another debate on the channel was dealing with inflation and the economic situation. Let's just take a look at that before we kick things off here. And unemployment is down. It was at 23%, I think, when we started. Growth is up almost 14%. But inflation is following the growth. So, since I can't raise interest rates to slow down inflation, the goal has been to raise taxes and reap some more of the benefits of this expanding economy. Budget excess is at 6.5 billion. Our public debt has dropped significantly. That's about 20 billion that we have eliminated in less than a year. In a couple months, we've knocked out $20 billion worth of debt. I also want to show you some population numbers too before we make the move, just to explain what I'm doing here. Poverty level, it has been one thing that has been increasing. Most of our numbers look pretty good, but the poverty number is the one thing that's a big concern. It really jumped up there in June. I'm not sure. I don't remember what exactly happened there in June. If anyone remembers or goes and looks back at some of the videos, I guess I could do that, but I haven't had the time to go back and look at my videos a lot. But if anyone, some people might actually be watching this all the way through. So if you remember what happened here in July or June, please refresh my memory. How did this poverty rate skyrocket? About 5% over the course of 1 month there. What did I do wrong? Life expectancy is pretty good. 80,000. It's been going up. I wanted to do a statistical comparison from when I started, but I won't do that this episode. I'll probably do it in the next episode to spare you guys a little bit. But I do want to try to pass 2 laws this episode. First, we're going to go ahead and do a value-added tax increase. This is designed to slow down the economy and to slow down the growth so that we don't have as much inflation, which I know some of you pro-growth conservative people out there are going to, rip my head off probably for this. But this is mostly favored by the This is actually favored by the right wing, by the conservative wing of the parliament here. And the liberal wing is actually against the increase in the sales tax. So that's interesting. I don't know why that is. I know that the sales tax is actually considered to be more of a regressive tax because it has a more devastating impact on the poor than it does on the wealthy, because the wealthy can kind of afford this. So we're going to take this new bill. I don't know. I forgot what I've been calling these bills. We'll call this I can't type. Inflationary measure 1. Alright, that's our new reform. And we're going to go ahead and create that bill. Again, it will pass, so I actually don't have to worry about it. But I did want to attach something to it just to try to help the poor people, because you saw that poverty rate increase, and we're going to drop the poor tax about 1% there. It's going to cost us $222 million, but with 1.1 billion, we'll still have like a $900 million windfall from this bill. Add that to the reform, and it looks like we are good to go. That actually appeases the left wing of the parliament there. It's going to be voted on September 2nd. It looks like we have 64% of the estimated vote that's going to go ahead and approve that, so hopefully that'll slow down the economy a little bit, bring in some more revenue, and try to counteract inflation there. That's the goal. The other piece of legislation I do want to pass this quarter, if you will, is going to deal with the head of state. And I took a look at this before, and it looks like... What do I want to do? Nomination of head of state, change system of electing, renewal, length of head of state's term. That's what I wanted. Renewal is unlimited, so I can keep getting elected over and over again. So that's a good measure of power. You want to make sure you have that if you want to keep your series going. But this is another one to sort of extend your power a little bit, and I tinkered around with it a little bit in between episodes, I'll admit. 6 years seems to be what I can get. I'll go ahead and just show you guys this, because I did spend some money actually without saving it. And I can barely get it just by a nose there. My party's all for it, but nobody else really is. My party is 100% for. Everyone else is against. 50.4. Let's go ahead and try to squeeze that in there. Yeah. And I don't know if that'll change the current election cycle, or we'll wait till the next election cycle to change. Probably the next is what I'm assuming, so I'm probably still going to have to get reelected in 2019, and then I'll have a 6-year mandate. That's my assumption. Okay, so I've been talking for a while. Let's go ahead and press play. And we've got some airstrikes moving along here. We've got new troop deployments. Our air wing has fired. Did they fire? These troops are all moving everywhere. They are going all over the place. And they are zooming in pretty quickly. There's the rebel base. See if we can get a close-up here. There's a missile coming in. Inbound. Target. Big strike. And the impact of our bill proposal just came through. We have a statement in the press that seems to be negative. There is a social negative concept because of the increase of pay. But humanitarian, that's from the refugee. The purchasing power just went up enormously. That's got to be because of the lower income tax. And purchasing power is significant due to the fact that we have that consumer rights group that is really... We got to start appeasing to them. They're a pretty big group, 1 million. And nice. I was looking at this before. He was down a little bit, but now he seems like he's warmed up a little bit to me. Probably because of that sales tax or the income tax that I attached there. Definitely not because of the sales tax, but maybe the income tax. And I guess these guys are pulling out. But we got 10,000 moving in. We've got our tanks moving in. I'm gonna at least send these guys back here, and we'll let the rest of these go home. I want to keep some troop presence in the Tobruk district, I guess. Who is this? Niger. President of Niger. I don't remember what Niger was. Military totalitarian socialist. Socialist would be good, but military totalitarian is skeptical. Do I really want to meet with these guys? I'm going to ignore it. Just to see what that would do. I know if I reject it, sometimes there's a negative impact to that. But I'm going to see if ignoring it has no impact. So, our cruisers have moved aggressively into the Bay of Tripoli there? I don't know what the name of that body of water is. Central Mediterranean, and we'll see if we can take out this transport here. They should be in range to fire, I would think. There it is. That is a big strike. Oh, man. Okay. Now they're getting out. Good. Get in and get out. Very quickly here. Oh, more bases have just popped up everywhere. Oh my god. Libyan bases are all over the place. Libyan Democratic Forces bases have just popped up everywhere. I've gone 20 minutes. Over 20 minutes. I want to see what the status here. Oh, we didn't really take anybody out in those strikes. Very little damage with those missile strikes. That's disappointing. So I don't know. I could send my what is that? Why is that happening? Are we taking this base over? Are we taking over this oil field? Battle has commenced. I want to see if we take over this oil field. And then the next episode, we're going to go into city battles, probably. What is happening? They retook it? What the heck? Any ground troops in there? Okay, that's going to be it for this episode.
One of my men succeeded in infiltrating Key Center.
Ah, that's good. Okay, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next episode. Again, thanks for all the support, likes and comments and everything. Feel free to continue to comment down below. Ask me questions. Let me know what you think. If anyone needs advice for this game or anything like that, feel free to shoot me some comments. Also, there's been some requests for other series out there. People have been requesting Total War series. I love the Total War series. I'm a big fan. I have Total War Empire, and I have Attila. I was thinking about doing like a Total War Rise of Mordor mod when that comes out. That would be like an Attila mod, I think. I've played as like the Eastern Roman Empire. I was thinking about maybe doing like a Western Roman Empire, preventing the fall of the Western Roman Empire. So if you guys like that idea, let me know. Also with Total War Empire, I do have the Darth mod. I don't know how you say that. So that allows me to play as like minor powers and stuff like that. And I thought like a minor power campaign would be pretty cool. Maybe as like Venice or Genoa, one of the Italian city-states, or Portugal. See if they can become a world superpower. So, you know, and you know, as the school year sort of comes to a close, I'll probably be getting more series out there. Probably going to try to continue the Europa Universalis series of Lazarus with Serbia, as well as maybe return to that Principia Isaac Newton series, which was pretty cool, and that had some sort of a small following on my channel there. So, any other suggestions, feel free to post down below. Again, thanks for watching. I appreciate your support, as always. See you guys in the next episode.